Well, hey, Happy New Year and welcome to Crossroads. My name's Andy Ryder, community pastor of Crossroads Anywhere, and I want to welcome, oh no.
What are you doing in here?
This is my garage.
You don't just walk in my garage.
You weren't supposed to be home yet.
I am. You're not supposed to be in my freaking garage.
Mark. We just wanted to have a little fun as we head into the new year, but actually, 2023 was an incredible year for our church.
It was great, every measure. Yes. I mean, most important measure would be the number of people who got baptized. Almost 1,973, but who's counting?
That's unbelievable.
What's really crazy about that is over 3 years, at any point, we basically had a rolling 12-month average of 2,000 people. God's using us to bring people into His family. It's pretty fun.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And in the Crossroads Anywhere app, we had 4.6 million prayers prayed in the app. 4.6 million times people came before God with what they needed and praying for one another. Really cool.
Yeah, there's things that we can do with our own might and things that only God can do with His might. So that many people are reaching out and there's some serious yes answers is really encouraging. Yeah. And also, a thing that's close to both of our hearts because we got to know each other, camping, is our attendance at camps. Like 7,500 people from all over the country, all over the world actually,
yeah, that's right,
coming to one of our camps, have a primitive camping experience to encounter God and go to a new place. And it's just been phenomenal. Who would have ever thought of it?
Yeah.
It's crazy, totally crazy.
It's just been a banner year for our whole church. There's so much to celebrate. I know you personally are celebrating. You finally got a bull elk.
A bull elk, a male elk. I finally did. More meals that I've eaten than I could possibly count so far, and a lot more to come. We're talking about pure meat, no hormones injected into it, grass-fed, wandering about in God's creation. It's unbelievable.
Delicious. Well, it's been an incredible year for our church, and I just want to capture it with one brief story. Totally unsolicited, I received this letter. This letter, I don't know if you can see this, was actually from a local correctional institution, from inside of a prison. And this letter was the story of a member of our Crossroads community. But he basically, in here, shared his story titled, "The Purpose in My Pain." And he shares the story of actually being a member of this community, of encountering God at Crossroads and experiencing in prison the chance to essentially take revenge on people who had murdered his loved ones. But God met him there and brought him peace and gave him the ability to forgive. And enclosed with this was a $25 check. It was him not only wanting to be a part of the community, but him wanting to partner with the community. It's just amazing, humbling stuff. And that's one story of countless.
I don't know what they make in prison. I know they get paid a nominal fee, but I don't know if that's a tithe or whatever that is, but it just shows he's in.
Yes.
He's part of us and we're stronger because of you if you're watching right now, brother.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder that our church is made up of all kinds of different people from all different walks of life, all encountering Jesus and running after Him together. And I just want to call out, if you're one of our community members in a prison, we are thankful for you, we love you, and we're grateful for you, and we're so thankful for the chance to get to celebrate Christmas with you this past December.
The last time I spent Christmas with my son, man, I think this was first time probably since pre-COVID, so probably about 2019.
Last time I spent Christmas with my family was probably 2 years ago. I was up all night anxious about this.
I don't know anybody from Crossroads, that the church and people who don't know me from Adam could recognize and care enough that I could celebrate Christmas with my family. One of the things that I deal with is just feeling so insignificant and feeling so forgotten. It's just beyond words to think that some strangers would be willing to sacrifice that we could have Christmas with my family. Just means the world to me.
The Crossroad Church and even PCI, that there's people out there that even give, that you even cross their mind, whether they even know your name or not, that means a lot to me, and I know that my family got a lot out of that today too.
It felt good, man. It felt normal. For a little second, it was like we weren't incarcerated. For that moment, I was just got a chance to just kind of be dad with my son, man. So it felt really good. It just really fueled me up. I hope he felt in the way I felt. Noticed, loved, not forgotten. And I hope that he felt like he mattered.
spending this holiday with my family, it means the world to me. This is actually the first visit I actually had with my kid in almost a year. Last time I saw her, she wasn't even talking. I got to hear her tell her she loves me, and for her to run up and say Daddy, that meant a lot. After this morning, I hope my daughter knows that I love her. And today kind of gave me some reassurance that she still remembered who I was, which is a big fear that I had, that she would walk in and not know who I am. For me today, after experiencing that, it was, motivate you to keep going and remind you what you got outside waiting for you. I just want to thank you guys for doing this, because it meant a lot to me.
I just wanted to say thank you. I want to thank God first, because I recognize that Crossroads and what you guys did today, you guys were his hands and his feet, and that joy, it pierces the darkness. Man, there's a cloud of sadness and heaviness that just sits on these places around these times of year. You guys literally penetrated the darkness today, man. So it's gonna spill outside of here and carry onto the compound, and really, man, it means the world to me.
Banner day today, the very last talk I'll give in 2023. Yeah, New Year's is right around the corner, or maybe you're in it right now as you're taking in this video. And I want to talk about, what do you do to mark the passage of time from the last year to the new year? I got to tell you right away, I'm not a big resolution guy. I do set goals, but I don't find it's really helpful for me to have a whole list of things that I want to do on December 31st going the next year. But I really do think it's important from time to time to step back and to set goals, but to do more than goals. That's the process I want to lead you through today. In the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 5 and following, Haggai is having the nation of Israel, he's a prophet, they're coming into the brand new temple, and he's having them understand what their life means as it relates to this marking of the moment. And here's what he says in verse 5. Now therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. You have sown much and harvested little. You eat, but you never have enough. You drink, but you never have your fill. You clothe yourselves, but no one is warm. And he who earns wages does so to put them into a bag with holes. Haggai says, consider your ways. I'm asking you and I to consider our ways, to step back and get a holistic understanding of what 2023 was like. And are we happy with it? Are we not happy with it? Haggai says, don't you notice? You're working, you're not getting ahead. If you've got a job and you're not getting savings, something is wrong. This is what Haggai is saying here. Just consider it. Give careful thought to your ways. So we're gonna go through a process for you for the next several minutes, and this is a process that I do regularly. It's based on this Jeep right here. I had this on stage at our Oakley campus a few months ago. This is a project I've been working on for about a year and a half right now. It's a 1978 Jeep CJ7. I had one just like it, same engine, when I was in college. I couldn't afford the gas, so I sold it. When you're running out of gas going to school every week, because I never had enough money to put anything more than literally like 75 cents in sometimes, and you're getting 8 miles a gallon. It just kept running out as I was driving up the road, Narrows Run Road, going to Robert Morris University. And I said, when I sold this, someday I'm gonna have it again. This is the day, I'm restoring it. Everything has come off. I've had my hands on every single bolt in this entire thing. And it is a metaphor for my life and for your life. So what does that mean? When we consider our ways, we should ask ourselves in 2023, what new things did I do in 2023? What was it? What new things? This Jeep, I did something new I've never done before. This engine is entirely rebuilt with me own two hands. I built this engine. Actually, I took it out, I disassembled it, I sent it to a machine shop. They did some stuff with their equipment that I don't have, got the parts, got new parts, put it all together here and put it in, and it runs. I gotta tell you, it is so satisfying to do something I've never done before. I've always wrenched on things. I've been pretty handy, but I've never rebuilt a motor, crankshaft, bearings, rings, pistons, all of that stuff. And it gives me a satisfaction. How about you? Look back on 2023. Is there anything new that you did? Maybe you went to a camp for the very first time. Maybe you camped outside. That's a big deal if you've never done it before. It's wonderful. Maybe you got married. Maybe you had a kid. Maybe you started your first job. Maybe you had your first and only graduation from college, or whatever it is. Notice the new things you did. Take your hand and just pat yourself on the back. Good work. In a day when people keep doing the same thing and they're in ruts, you did something new this year. You're to be commended. You're in the 1%. The second thing I do every year, and as I look at my life, I try to notice the dings that are in my life. What dents are in my life? I'm now at the process with this build. This is all primer. And let me show you something over here on the side. For weeks now, I've been working on this body. This is all restored, reconditioned. There was just dings and knocks and pings all over the place. It's an incredibly tedious job to bang out dents, take body filler, put it in, sand it, more body filler, sand it again, put it again, sand it again. It's really, really, really rough, which is why body work is so expensive. It takes someone who knows what they're doing a long time, and I don't know what I'm doing. It takes me a really long time. But you can see right here, I've got some Bondo. This is stuff that I've put down and I've sanded it to fill in some dents and imperfections, because over the decades, this Jeep has had a lot of abuse. People kicking it, rusting, all kinds of things. It's got to deal with the dents. So I think it's an important physical and spiritual discipline to look at your life and just recognize what dents you've had. Where have been kicked in the teeth? What emails have we had that hurt us? Who gave us words in the last year that have stung and we're holding on to? What have been our disappointments? Whether we've been laid off or let go or didn't get the promotion or broken up with. What are those things? When we don't wrestle with our pain, we can't get to a new place. Haggai says, give careful thought to your ways. Give careful thought to the ways in which you've been dented. In fact, some of the things that haven't gone right in your life, it could be traced back to dents that you picked up years ago that you've not looked at. We are human beings. We are this essence that's soft and pliable and dense and cuts and bruises, our heart, our mind, all of it. Look at the dents in your life. This last year, I have a really close friend of mine who had a child and had brain issues and seizures, and they actually ended up getting in to the doctor, surgery, after months and months and months of altered diet and all that stuff with his infant daughter, and cutting out a section of her brain. Now, miraculously and amazingly, through medical science and the gift of God and a lot of people praying for them, she's healed. It's beautiful. They have their daughter back. And about that same time, one of my grandkids was born and had some issues, some real issues. It was really, really scary. And fortunately, all is well, all has gone well. But I'll tell you what, it was about 48 hours or 72 hours of just kicks to the gut, kicks to the heart, fears about what if this happens, what if that happens, really difficult. We have to recognize these pains and bruises and notice what they're doing to us, to be honest. And hopefully we'll come out on the other end, as these stories I just told you are, with happy endings. But sometimes we don't have happy endings. Sometimes there's a permanent dent that is there. We just have to recognize, I might never be the same. You could put some putty over it and sand it, but there may always be a dent in me. And it's okay to believe that. It's also okay to believe that there's a Redeemer who can redeem in 2024 and who can do for you things that you can't do for yourself, who can offer healings that you can't heal yourself. That is part of what we do. Now, It's not just the dents, giving careful thought to your ways. It isn't just the new things I learned with the engine. It's not just the dents that I've had, the ways I've been kicked. It's also, what mistakes have I made? So dents are, I am the recipient of something going wrong, and I was sort of a passive participant in it. But then there's where was I actually making a mistake myself? I did it. I've got over here, and you have to forgive me, there's putty dust all over the place. But this is a transmission right here. That's a 3-speed transmission. I'm very proud of this. You know why I'm proud of that? Because I rebuilt this transmission, that's why. Oh, look at how it shifts. It's wonderful. You know why it's wonderful right now? Because I rebuilt this transmission, did it with my own hands and the help of YouTube University. And the problem was, I rebuilt it 3 times. 3 times. I kept getting it wrong. I'd put it together and things wouldn't work. I'd take it back apart. I'd put it together and there were these little needle bearings in there that they'd fall out and I had to take it apart and do it again. Over and over, weeks and weeks of work, just getting it done, ordering new parts, new gears. It was mistake after mistake after mistake. Now, I think it works. This is the problem is I think it works, but I'm not gonna know until later on in 2024 when I actually start this thing up and take it down the road. What mistakes have you made? The thing about a transmission is it's a pretty easy thing to mess up on because you're kind of proud of yourself. You try to figure it out. No one's gonna judge you too much. But then there's other mistakes that really, really bother you. It's important for us to look back at our 2023 and just be honest, give careful thought to our ways of where we made mistakes. I made so many mistakes, I can't even think of them all. I made so many mistakes that covers a lot of people, their involvement, that I can't even share all of them without their buy-in. I'll just give a couple very simple ones. I've hired people who shouldn't have been hired. I made a mistake on my motorcycle in terms of how to ride the bike, and I had bad braking technique that caused me to go over my handlebars and caused me to bruise and banged up for a while and sore. I took a trip to Alaska and I made a mistake. I didn't count the cost properly and what the finances would be on it. On that trip, it hurt me financially. I'm actually still recovering. I'm fine, but it was a mistake. I had a hunt and I had an animal in my sights and I had a bad shot and I could have still gotten one off and I made the mistake and it was just a mistake. I've said things from stage when I hear it and I critique my talk, I think, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have said that. I've had conversations with Lib that have been hurtful to her. I could go on and on and on. These are just some of the ones I'm wanting to talk about publicly. Do you know the mistakes you've made? Are you recognizing them? Are you admitting them? Repentance is when you say it and you bring it out. When you look at the old of 2023, and you say, this is not what I want in 2024. The book of Ephesians talks about our old mind, the way we used to operate, and the new mind. Here's what it says. Put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. So there's our old self, which is ourselves before we come into relationship with Jesus. And then there's the new self, which is when God gives us a brand new identity. We receive his spirit. We have his Holy Spirit. And we make the decision, when I go forward with Jesus, I turn my back and I turn my mind on the old ways of thinking and I go forward. This is what this spiritual principle means. Now, it's not related to New Year's resolutions or New Year goal setting, but I think this applies to what you should be doing on the verge of 2024. I think you should be thinking about things that you thought, things that were in your mind in 2023, and you should be taking them off and putting on the new mind, choosing to think something new, to do something new. As a man or woman thinketh, so is he, says Proverbs. If you think You're going to have an awful 2024. You're going to have an awful 2024. If you think 2024 is going to be same old, then 2024 is going to be same old. If you think you're going to get divorced in 2024, then you're going to get divorced 2024. If you think no one's going to have you on a date, then no one's going to have you on a date. We start with our mind. As one person said, which is so cheesy, I hate to quote it, I don't even know who it said it, but there's some truth to it. That which you believe, you can't achieve. You have to choose the beliefs that you want in 2024 that goes before the things that you achieve, new things. Now related to my Jeep here, I've got another new thing that I'm doing to this Jeep. Here in the next couple months, hopefully, I'll be ready to do something I have never done before. I'm looking forward to this. I'm planning on it. I'm going to paint this entire Jeep myself. It's not the same as painting a chair in your dining room, which I've done. Painting a car, the whole process of priming, coat, finish coat, clear coat, it's very, very, very difficult, very involved. That's why I've never done it, because I've been intimidated by it. Well, now I'm thinking, I've done enough new things and things I've never done before. Let's just go all the way. So I'm gonna be learning how, for the very first time, paint a car. And I don't know what it's like, but that's important to me. What about you? What about you? What are new things you're gonna do? I'm going to do some new things in my job description. I'm going to let go things that I've been doing and have other people do those things so I can focus on other new things, letting things go and taking up new things. Are you going to do a new type of vacation? Are you going to do a new type of story time with your kids if you have kids? Are you going to do a new discipline for how to find friends? If you're lonely and have good friends, you're going to have to do something new this year. Don't keep doing the same things you did last year. Expect you're going to have better friendship results. You're going to have to go to different places, try different things, talk to new people. This is the day to do something new. This next year, you're going to hear a lot about revivals and awakenings. It's a new thing that I want to be a part of. I don't only want to be a part of a church that's growing every year significantly. I mean, it's better than being part of a church that's decreasing every year significantly. But we've been on a crazy growth tear over the last few years. And hopefully that happens. But I want something new. I don't want just that stuff. I want to be a part of something that's beyond simply having Crossroads get larger. I want to be a part of seeing if God might use our church, He might use our organization to bring in an awakening. Now, I've talked about this before, I'm going to talk about this much more in 2024. Let me help you understand what this is. Revivals and awakenings are very similar, but they're a bit different as I see it. Revivals is when people who have a walk with Christ, they come into a building and they get revived. Their faith gets revived, their spirit gets revived. It's great, it's wonderful, that's what I want more for my life. An awakening, historically, is when the Spirit of God comes on a region and He works through an organization. There's actually a church or churches or an organization that's organizing, and the Spirit of God comes on that region, and there is a mass amount of people who come into the family of God for the first time. They get awakened to the beauty of the grace of God. They start changing. Charles Finney, who was one of the leaders in one of the revivals that took place in our country, he said this: a revival is nothing else than a new beginning of obedience to God. Revivals and awakenings aren't about me having fresh feelings, having a fresh spiritual experience, which I want, to be clear, but that's not the end of it. We have a fresh spiritual experience. God brings us into a new place because He wants us to have new levels of obedience. He wants us to do the things that He wants us to do. For many of us, the mistakes that we have are passive mistakes. Things that have happened to us or the dents we have are things that took place to us because we weren't going to do the thing God wanted us to do. Those are always the hardest pain points for me, the biggest regrets. God is doing something in you because He wants you to be different in 2024. If your 2024 is what your 2023 is like, your 24 will be a failure, or to use a very heavy-laden word, you will be in sin. God wants you to take off the old mind, to put on the new mind, to be revived, to be awakened, and to do things you haven't been doing, He wants you to do. And to stop doing things He doesn't want you to do that you've been doing. The beautiful thing is we have a God who knows all of this, and He's still here giving us grace, still working through us to get us the life that He's created for us. That's what we're going to do as a church in 2024. We're going to get there, and we're going to do some aggressive things, and we're going to honor God the whole way, and we're going to try new things, and we're going to see just how God may use us in new ways in 2024. I can't wait to be a part of it with you. We'll see you next time here at Crossroads. How are you going to spend your year? Are you going to do the same thing you've always done? Or are you going to go on a new adventure? Are you going to play it safe or take a risk? What if this year you pushed yourself, got outside your comfort zone, helped other people, went somewhere extraordinary? What if you discovered what God wants for your life, made new friends, and laughed until you couldn't breathe? There is no limit to what 2024 can look like for you. Don't miss next year with Crossroads.